Welcome back to Tom's Garage again. Yay! Good morning, good morning. Today, we are working on, it's another generator. This one's got the 10 horsepower Briggs. This is a Coleman Powermate Powerbase 5000. That's good in there. And of course the feller said it's been sitting, won't crank. He said he put fuel in it and it just kind of ran out the bowl. So we're going to have another carburetor cleaning video. Yay! All right, let's get busy. Let's get busy, busy. Gonna get busy, busy. He said he put fresh fuel in it, of course. He put it on top of the old stuff that was left in the bowl. He said he tried to clean it, but he said it's awful tarnished in there. Let's see, let me grab another foot. Let me lower the table. I can get my head up there and see. How much fuel did he put in it? Yeah, not a whole lot. It ain't got a whole heck of a lot of fuel in it. So what we'll do, raise the table back up. We'll just let this be draining. Let's see, I'll use this pan right here. Let's see, I think I'll just unhook it from right there. Well, that's what we'll do. Clamp it off. Give it a twisty, twisty. Twisty, twisty. Oh yeah, that's awful yellow looking. Ugh. That's awful yellow looking. Oh, let's see. Let me grab my favorite little galvanized pipe right here. We'll stick us something into that hose. That way it'll weigh it down. Go into the bucket. We got to keep a good eye on this thing. I'm sure it's probably going to fill that bucket up. And make sure the fuel's turned on over here. All right, we got a floor. Well, that is some nasty fuel right there. Old. All right. All right. Let's dig into that carburetor. Dig into El Carburetor. Uh-oh. Let me hit pause there. I got a customer. All right. Super nice guy. Super nice customer. Hang on to it. 496077. Yeah, oof. That thing smells like gas. I'm sure I got a new one over there somewhere on the shelf. 496077. I'll get him a new air filter. This thing here is petrified because, of course, the fuel ran out and soaked it and dried. Okay. You're rambling again, Dobie. We're more than likely going to have to soak this carburetor overnight. More than likely. Let's see what's holding this thing. Let's see. crankcase vent holding it. Yep, right there. Gotta get that vent line out of there. There we go. That thing was in there. It's got a little groove it sits on. And I see it didn't dribble very much. The level is below the pickup. No, it's completely empty now. Okay, good. We just got a little bit in the very bottom of that water separator. Okay. Golly, I didn't have any gas at all in it. Okay. Let me take my little turkey baster. What I'll do is try to aim right for that. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my gas can. I'm gonna put some gas in it and kind of let it flush and pour back out. Capture anything that might be in there. Okay. Give it a slushy. Yeah, we'll let the rest of that pour out. Okay. Then we'll take the air hose and blow it out real good. All right, back to the carburetor. We have damaged that gasket. Got to get a new gasket on there. See, this one's, there's a piece of it right there. So we got to make sure we get a new gasket. It was going to ruin it anyway when I soak it. Maybe it ain't bad enough to have to soak. Maybe we could just hand clean it. Yep. Reach up there and grab that clamp. Give it a twisty. Grab my trusty little door panel removal tool. See if I can squeeze it in there somehow or another. Push that. Really ain't nothing to get against with this tool. Grab a screwdriver. It's easier to push it off than to pull, because when you pull it, it contracts it. There we go. And be careful with this. This thing is plastic. You don't want to make it spin and turn. Okay. Let's see. What are we gonna do next? Really ain't nothing to do but pull it off. I'm gonna try not to hurt this gasket behind it. It's probably gonna tear this gasket. Well, we gotta get these studs off. I don't know what I'm thinking. That is going to be an external Torx, I think a number 3, or a let's see, is it an E5? Yeah, it's an E5 external Torx. External torque. See the little shoulder? That's what holds the carburetor on. Yeah, a little stud. A little studly. See, it was going to damage the gasket anyway. Okay, let's see if we can break it loose without hurting that other gasket. I got plenty of those gaskets though. There we go. And the gasket's going to stick to the carburetor. I figured it would. Now we got to get that unhooked. Get that unhooked right there. It may be easier just to unhook it from here. Nope, there it goes. No, I got to get the little spring unhooked. There it goes. All right. a lot of times this throttle plate shaft will get gummy and cause it to run wide open, because when you cut the engine off, it'll stop it at full throttle, and then when you crank it back up again, if it gets gummy, it'll just roll all the way up and you won't know why. And you won't know why. Okay. I'm afraid this gasket is, yeah, we're going to replace this gasket. Boy, that's a tough gasket. There it goes. There it goes. All right, let's clear the workbench. Grab your favorite carburetor cleaning pan. Yay! All right, let's finish draining again. Go ahead and get the rest of this gasket off there. I just stuck myself, do you see that? You see me flinch when I done that? Ooh, watch out, don't cut yourself with it, boy. Get the most of this off there, and I'll put it in a wire wheel right there and buff off the rest of it, but I ain't too worried about the gasket right now. I'm waiting to get that bowl off and see how bad this thing is. Yeah, he said he took this bowl off, and he said it was kind of varnishy in there, and he said it was pouring gas, so I would imagine it was probably pouring it out of the vent right there, somewhere in there. It's probably just coming right out of the emulsion tube and just pouring. That's why that air filter was, looked like it had gotten soaked. All right, let's pop this bowl off and see the state of it. Oh, let's see, let me grab my socket. Grab a flashlight. Grab my flashlight. And the end of that right there is going to tell you a whole lot. Yeah, that is awfully gnarly looking. We may just have to replace this carburetor if it's too bad. Ain't too bad. Yeah, that needle is completely stuck. That's why it was pouring. Ooh, can we get that out? Let's see, where's my needle nose? Let's see, I'll use my pliers and try to get that out. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna let this soak overnight. That needle is stuck in there pretty good. I think we might have it. I think we might have it. Try not to hurt that plastic float. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Gimme. Gimme. Get this bowl gasket off there if we can. We'll have to replace it too because it's hardened. Let me look at the date code on this engine. I want to see how old this thing is. It looks like it might have some age on it. 1999, it's 25 years old, which ain't too awful old for a piece of equipment. My favorite lawnmower right over there turns 40 years old this year. So don't feel bad. There we go. Right in the floor it went. Okay. We got everything off that vat can hurt. I need to get that main jet and emulsion tube out of there. I'll do what I'll do. Let that lubricate it a little bit. Can we get lucky? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we're going to get that out. That thing is brass. You got to be very careful with it. I'm going to let this thing soak with that jet still in there. I believe I am. Yep. Gonna have to let that thing soak. Don't want to take a chance on stripping out that jet. I get the lid off of it. This is what I like using. I use this stuff for years and years. All right, stick the bowl in there. Yeah, I'm not gonna put that in there, I'll put this in there. A little pin that holds the flute. And let's see, I ain't gonna put the needle in there because that's rubber tip. We're gonna get a new needle for it anyway. All right. Tell it good night. Let that float around in there. Put a float in there, right? There we go. There we go. Set this over there on the shelf. All right, we'll set that out of the way. Nice and clean. All right, set that stuff aside. And we'll come back to this. We'll go ahead and get rid of that fuel filter. Garbage. Grab a new one. We're running low on fuel filters. Seems to be. Seem to be running low on fuelie filters. There's got to be one in here somewhere. There's one. There's a good one. Ew, that still has some nastiness in that fuel pump. Give it ever so slightly a puff. See if it comes out of here. Yep, it's got a little bit coming out. Don't want to hurt that fuel pump. Ever so slightly. Let's lower the table and see what kind of shape the fuel tank is in. If it's got any nastiness in there. Yeah, it's still got a little bit of stuff in the bottom. A little bit of debris right there in the bottom. All right. Uh-oh. Y'all know what that means. Money. Okay. Still has a little bit of, I think it's got to be a piece of that gas cap. Yep, look at there. Chunks of that gas cap is down in the bottom of that. See how it's just breaking apart? It needs a new gas cap. Look at that. Yeah, buddy. Let's see, I'm gonna have to try to figure out a way to get that stuff out of there. Let me see if I can pick at it. With a pair of long needly nose, I can get most of it out with that. That stuff just crumbles when you try to grab it. Only one good way to clean that. I think you know what it is. Ain't but one thing to do, you just gotta blow it all over the place. And we'll blow back through the fuel line to make sure it's, make sure that screen is clear. Sounds good. Looks good. It appears to be nice and clean in there. All right. I'm gonna leave the gas cap off, and overnight just gonna let it kind of dry out a little bit if there's anything else left in there. Add a little bit of water in it, just condensation. Let that dry out overnight. Oh, let me put the lid on that can. Well, all right, boys and girls, I'm gonna hit pause, and when we come back, it'll be tomorrow. Y'all hang with. And it's the next day. All right, let's get it out of the can. I got the bowl gaskets. New bowl gasket, new into air filter housing gasket, and the carburetor to intake manifold gasket, because this one is hurt. You can see how it's coming apart. Can't have it sucking air. Oh, let's see, the part number for those gaskets, that one right there, 272706, and that one right down there is a 272708. I'm not sure what the bowl gasket is. Let's see, we got oil filler tube, dipstick, O-ring. Oh, I have no idea. Let's look over here. Bowl gasket, 693981. That's what that is. 693981, I believe, for that particular one. All right, let's see what we have. What do we have? What do we have? Roll up your sleeve. I'm hoping I can get that main jet and emulsion tube out now. Yeah, I believe that bowl is going to clean up pretty good. I got high hopes for it. I got some high hopes for it. Where's my float pen? All right, put this back up there. I was going to say, what is that making that noise inside there? But it's that basket sliding around. Hopefully that's what it is. I didn't leave nothing in there. Yeah, we'll have to see how that cleans up. And the float come pretty clean. Not bad. Everything seems to have come pretty clean. All right. All right, let's see if we can, let's go ahead and clean this bowl. I may dig through my junk carburetor drawer over there, boxes, and get another bowl. Yeah, that may be what we do. Let's go see how well this one cleans up. Yeah, not bad. Not too awful bad. What else do we have in there we can clean with? I believe that's pretty dang good. Let's go wash it off here. I believe that is pretty good. Well, let's go over here in the junk carburetor section and see if we can find a nicer bowl. I still have some staining in there. I don't like that. Because we're going to let this thing set dry when we're done. I don't want that rust to have a chance to come back. Let's dig around. Oh, let's see. That one's going to be dirty. That was a lot worse. That was pretty bad. Well, I believe that one will be all right. I really do. I really, really do. Let's see. Okay, we'll just use that one. I believe it'll be all right. I believe it'll be all right. I want to try to get that jet out without hurting it, because it's brass and it's soft, and if you strip it, it didn't appear I hurt it too bad yesterday. Let's see if we can get it out. Oh God, that thing is tight. Shouldn't be that tight. Hang on to it, boy. Nope, it ain't coming out. We're gonna end up stripping it. Sure are. Boy, they got that thing tight in there. Still a little bit of nastiness right there. Have to clean that. But I believe she'll be all right, because she's been soaking like that all night. Yeah, those slots are just gonna strip away. Strip away, strip away. We'll just run that in there, make sure it's clear. Well, this is empty. Grab another can of carburetor cleaner. Oop. I saw it shoot some of that stuff there. They was letting it soak in. chest. That carburetor cleaner is cold on the fingers. Nice and shiny seat now. Okay. Woo. It's nice and clean. I got the seat or the needle perfectly clean. Well, I tell you, it's too quiet in here. I should have put the bowl gasket on first. We'll stretch it around it. Make sure you get that on there right. Make sure there's no twists or anything in it. Nope. Come off the other end, you aggravating thing. Nope. You just got to keep working it. Voila. All right. All right, let's get her back together and see if she runs good. Let it get a little warm, and I'm going to change the oil in it too. Change the oil in it. Okay. Go ahead and hook up the fuel filter back up to it. Yeah. Grab a pair of pliers. Okay. Let's see, grab my E5. There's some light on it. First thing we need is a new gasket for the back of it. Right there. Grab the studs. Let's see, we gotta get that. Well, I'll set it right there and put it on backwards. Get this hooked back up first. Let me grab my needle nose. Gotta get the spring and the rod hooked up. There's the spring, and there's the rod. I'll tell you, it's shivering cold out here today. I got the heater on. All right, now we'll get the fuel line hooked back up. Okay. Now we'll lower it down and put some gas in it. I found another gas cap too. Make sure you use a vented gas cap if it had one on it. Because the first one I grabbed, I didn't realize it wasn't vented. And it would have went dead. And nobody would have knew why. Alright, let's lower it down. Well, take the safety off of it. I ain't gonna put a whole lot in it, just enough to run it, because we gotta drain it all back out when we're done. Just enough to get it above that pickup. There we go. That'll work. Let's make double sure we got enough in it. We do. And let's make sure the gas is turned on and we don't have any leaks. Gas is on. Give it a minute to fill the bowl. So far, so good. Okay. Make sure the switch is on. It is. We may have to prime it to get the crank. It's got to get that fuel pump working. I don't know why it's got a fuel pump. I mean, it's gravity fed. It's kind of strange to me. I don't know. I don't want to have to put that housing back on there just to be able to choke it. Just trying to choke it with my thumb here. God, this thing's heavy. Yeah, let me prime it. To me, that oil, I just did that, didn't I? To me, that oil is a little low, and it may have that oil shutoff sensor. Yeah, I believe that low oil shutoff has probably got her killed. Let's see. Yeah, the oil's low. Let me put the cap back on it. We're going to check for spark. Hey, no telling how long it's been since this thing has run. Let's see. Ooh, got me tuckered. Oh, let me put the gas cap back on. Might need a longer extension. You could have a stuck valve or anything. But you see it's been running rich. Let me give it a pull to see if we've got spark. We have no spark. I knew it wasn't a fuel problem because it would have cranked if it had spark because we sprayed car cleaner in it. Whew. Let's see, I need to unhook this. Let's see, we'll unplug it. Unplug it right there, see if it gives us spark. Yeah, all right. Let's see what that gives us. Oh, we got good spark now. That's what it is. That oil, low oil sensor has got it. Woo, cut off. Grab a new spark plug. All right, I'm gonna just leave that unhooked. Let it run for just a second. Yeah. This thing here is acting funny too. I need to oil that. Okay, we're gonna have to go ahead and change that oil. I don't have a pan low enough to stick under that drain hole, so what we're gonna do, let's see, I think I'll drain it from this side. This one's a little bit easier to get to. We'll just stick the old mighty back in there. Ooh, boy, that's cold, thick. We'll just let that do its thing there. I guess I could just tip this thing over and let it drain. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I think that's what I'll do instead of using this. Put this back over there. Let's see if I got enough strength to do this. There we go. Yes, awful black. That's good. Oh, my back. Ooh, my back just caught it. Make a little mess. Over it. Yep, like I said, the bottom. Just rag under there. It's getting there. I just hope that float isn't stuck. There's a little float inside that crankcase that tells when the oil is low and it kills a spark. And I hope that float isn't stuck. Sure it's not. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're good. We are good. We are good. Okay. We are right halfway up the threads, so that should be plenty. Rag. And plug the water back in and give it another prime. All right, switch is on. Okay. As we turn the switch on, gotta oil that. Yeah, that lever, that float lever in there may be stuck. I believe it is. I believe it is. I believe it is. We'll let it run and get warm. Maybe that lever, that float lever in there will unstick. Ooh. Guess who gets a new carburetor? That carburetor has got some places in it that cannot be cleaned. Well, all right, let me hit pause. We'll get a new carburetor. Hang loose. All right, took the carburetor back off and I actually got this out. This was pretty nasty. I wasn't going to be satisfied till I got that out. You can see how you got to be careful. This is brass. Trying to unscrew it, you'll booger it up. but I was able to get it out. I won't have any problems putting it back in because it's not damaged on the side you tighten. All right. All right. I know it was getting fuel. The bowl was full. So the fuel pump's working. Everything seems to be working good. Let's get this thing back together. Pop it back on there and see what we got. I still got I went ahead and filled the oil all the way up to the edge of the threads. And I went ahead and unhooked the oil sensor back here. Just unhooked it there. All right, let's get it back together. Y'all hang with. All right, carburetor's back on there. Let's see what we got here. See if that done any better. Hiya! That's a whole lot much more gooder than it was. Now the on-off switch ain't working now. Now we got to figure that out. Huh. That's why I had to choke it to kill it. I caused it to leak a little bit when I done that. Well, let's pull this cover off and see why the kill switch ain't working. And I added more oil, and that probably, or either that or the oil sensor float probably let go and is working again. So you saw me hook it back up to kill it, and it didn't. Then the kill switch wasn't working. That's how I had to choke it. All right, let's pull this cover off and see what's going on with this wire, this switch. It had no effect on turning it off. Let's see, what do we need here? A 3/8. 3/8. 3/8. I still may go ahead and get a new carburetor for it, because you see it wasn't running 100% good. It had a stutter. Had a little stutter to it. But I finally got that emulsion tube out. I didn't realize I already had it loosened. So this wire, that black wire, goes from the oil sensor to right there to there. See, it's mounted on this plastic so it don't touch the metal or anything. It just goes straight to this wire, and that wire goes to the on-off switch, and that goes to the coil. So we got to find out, maybe we have a wire that's gotten pulled loose or chewed through or something. Something's going on with the kill switch, but it seems to work pretty good. Let's see, let's get that taken off. Let's see, we did a 5/16 or 8mm. My extension. I got a funny smell coming from somewhere. Must be a big dead rat behind this cooling tin. Oh, well, that warmth feels good on my hands. I'm gonna take and run this thing for a little while and see how it acts. I'm gonna oil this. Yep, look at there. That has come off the switch. How does that connect? Oh, that's broke. That's what it is. That right there broke. So now we got to figure something else out. Figure out another kill switch. I figured I'd end up having to order something for this thing. We're going to have to come up with another, some sort of kill switch for him. We'll probably mount one, just a little toggle switch, right about here. Yeah. Might as well just leave that on there. Okay, that's why it wasn't cutting off. That's good though. I don't see no rat nest or anything in there. All the pins look clean. That's good. I am gonna take a 1/2 inch socket. Make sure these head bolts are still torqued. That one's still loose. That's good and tight. Good and tight. Good and tight. Good and tight. I can't get to them ones back there. Okay. So now we got to come up with a kill switch. Let me see here. I want to see exactly how this thing here was supposed to work. Whatever. We'll figure something out. Let me hit pause. Let me dig around and see what we can find for a kill switch. Alrighty, this is what we got. Went to the auto parts store next door and got a simple on-off switch. 2-terminal. Simple on-off switch. I went ahead and got the heavier duty one. This one, the way it works, simply, you know, it just breaks continuity between these 2 terminals. That's off. And that's on to send power to whatever you want to power. But we're going to be using it in the opposite form. We want to, when you turn it on, I want to actually break continuity, so I'm going to spin this thing here around so it says off when it has no continuity. It says it'll on, it will not have continuity. That way it's not grounding the coil and killing the spark. The way this old switch worked, so you've only got one wire going to the coil right there. One wire is coming from the oil sending unit, and if it gets low, it'll ground and kill spark and kill the engine. And also when you turn that switch to the off position, the old one, it grounded this to the actual fan housing. That's where it was getting its ground from. So what we'll do, cut this off and put a round terminal on here to go to one terminal. And then we'll make another wire to go from here, from the other terminal. We'll send it somewhere to ground. We'll find somewhere to ground it. That way when you turn it off, it's got continuity and it'll ground the coil. Does that make sense? I hope it do, because that's what we're going to do. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let me show you this old switch. The way this old switch worked. This was inside here, like that. You got off, which in turn, this was on here like that. And you can turn it on and off. See, when you turn it on, when the switch is on, this is not touching metal. But when you turn it off, click, that is actually rubbing that little piece of the housing. And you can see on here where it was making a mark on it. And of course this was on there like that. And that's where the black wire plugged in. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to take this out and use this hole to mount this. We're going to have this washer on top of it. That way it covers that hole completely. All right. All right, the first thing we got to do, first thing we're going to do is cut this off. And then we'll just take this right here. Well, wrong way. I always do that. We'll take about that much off. Well, a little bit more. And we got some terminals. Find the seam in it. I don't want to put the dimple on the seam. I'll put it 180 degrees out. Okay, we'll just take and crimp this on there. Just like that. That's all you got to do. And let's make another little wire. Let's see, I got a spool of wire around here somewhere. What did I do with it? There it is. So we'll take this piece of wire, strip some of that off. Bloop, doo, 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 doo. And we'll stick it in there like that. And let's see, I think I'm gonna go to that little screw right there. Yeah. Let's see, we'll take that screw out because it's easy to get to. We'll have to do it in a way that it won't get into the flywheel. We'll have to secure it somehow or another. I've already put the housing on there and made sure we got clearance to get through there. Get back through there, I may just put a little zip tie around that. Let's see, we'll cut it off right about there. Yeah. Let's see, that ought to give us plenty of, well, it's gonna go right about there. Right about there. Let me cut a little more off. I don't want too much excess in there. Excess. All right. All right, that'll give us what we need there. And then we'll come back over here. Just raise this camera so my arms ain't in the way. Let's see, we'll just take a pair of needle nose and get this out of here. Somehow or another. Pop that out, however that comes out. How does that come out? That's stuck in there pretty good. I might just end up having to break it. Screwdriver. Getting whooped by a piece of plastic. Come over there, boy. Ah, gotcha. All right, we'll unscrew this. I'll tell you, it's a warm enough day, I'm fixing to take a sweater off. So we'll have to flip this around. You can see it's got that little indention on there. We'll have to get rid of that. It's going to be on there just like that. So we'll have to put that on there backwards. I don't believe it's going to let me until we can grind that off. We'll just use this little deburr tool. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be good. All right, let's put this big washer on there. I about forgot to put that on there. Let's see, the off has got to go that end. Now let's test it. Right now it's on, so it don't have continuity. You turn it off and it grounds the coil and kills the engine. Okay. That is good. Now we'll take a wrench and tighten this down. What size is that? Is that a 1/2 inch? I think it's hard to hang on to. That's actually going to be a 13 millimeter because it's just a little bit bigger than that. Let's see, let's grab a 13. Nope. Maybe it's a 14. Everything I tell you is metric these days. Except for this old engine. Nice and tight. Okay. We'll go back over here. Grab us a Phillips head. Well, now I can't get to that screw right there. Wonder if we can just turn that whole thing 90 degrees. I'll have to test it again, make sure we have it right. Well, that ain't gonna work either. Well, now I can't get to that back screw. Let me get it out and I'm gonna put that screw in from this direction. Well, that is one thin little nut. Hard to catch it. I don't want to get it too tight. That thing will strip. We just ruined a $10 switch. All right, grab my tester. Right now it's set to off, so we should have continuity. And we don't. I got to spin that thing around when we're backwards. Right. So we'll just spin this label around right here. right. Now it's set to off in this position. So it should have continuity. And it do. You got continuity. Okay. It's going to be kind of hard to do. So what we'll do is unplug this from here. That way we can get to the wire. Grab my little stubby fillers. All right, now we're going to get this through here. Come on, little screw, start for me. Ooh, put too much sugar in my coffee this morning. Make sure you get it real good and snug. Okay, now we'll get this one started. If we can reach. Ooh, let me take my toboggan off. It's getting warm. Boy, it's a beautiful day. Beautiful, beautiful day. I'm gonna take it off the engine. You got continuity. All right. All right. Well, I said I was going to spray some oil on that mechanism right there. Well, what I'll do it after I put it on. I can squirt some oil down. Well, let me go ahead and do it now. Let's see, just a little bit of striker hold. I'm gonna get right down in there where that spring is. Just a little bit. All right, now we're gonna go up through here all at once. Back around with that. I'm gonna have to grab my needle nose. Yeah, let me do that. Well, let me trade places with you there, Mr. Camera. Plug it back into the coil. Make sure that's plugged in all the way. Certainly feels like it is. I don't know, let me push on a little bit. Yeah, that's all the way on there. All right, now let's look over here, see where the wire's going. We'll get it and screw it back to the engine block. Mr. Flashlight. Dropped it. Dropped it. All right, we're good there. Now let me lower this camera down. We'll stick stick the flashlight in there and see where that wire is. See if we need to tie it back a little bit. Let's see, that one's fine. That one's good. Can't really see down in there that good. Yep. Give me a little zip tie. I'm gonna zip tie it with that hug over there. Zipper tie. Let's see, go up through here. All right. Grab my cutters here and cut the end of that zip tie off. Oh yeah, that's gonna work good. Yeah. Oh yeah. Under that. Put that back on. Stick my head back in there again just to double check. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. It's got that little shield on there. It's not even, it don't even have access to the flywheel. That's good. That is good, that is good. All the heat shields are back on, all the tabs are in. All right, let's bolt that back down. Okay, we need a 3/8 ratchet wrench and a 3/8 ratchet with a socket. All right. Can't find the hole. I still want to let this thing run for a little while and see, make sure it's going to run good. Otherwise, we're just going to get a new carburetor. They're not expensive at all. Not when it comes to needing a generator. You don't want this thing running funny out there. You got to make sure it's 100% dependable. Be a case of freezing to death, you know what I mean? No heat, no lights. All right, clear the table. We still got to bolt that fuel pump back to the housing there. Get these back in there. All right. Alrighty. I don't have any way of choking it, so I'm going to have to spray it to start it. I left the fuel on all night long. That way that would tell me if the carburetor was leaking. Yep. Let's fire it up and make sure put it on own. Well, let me try to choke it by hand here. So I don't want to put all that air filter cover back on yet. Put my knee against it. Well, we got a kill switch on there. That's good, we can cut it off now. Now I'm gonna let it run. I'm gonna take it out there and annoy the neighbors. I'm glad that house next door is empty. All right, y'all hang with, hang with. I gotta make sure it don't vibrate itself off the table, but it runs pretty good. I'm gonna let it go. Nice and smooth, generator works. Crank's first pull. She sounds good and healthy. Woo! Sounds good and healthy. So now I'm going to drain the fuel tank back out, dry it, drain the carburetor, dry it completely, and we're going to let her go. Thanks for watching another Tom Nobby video, boys and girls. Another generator. Y'all be good. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Love y'all.